This is the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling.
What the world is watching.
So what's the deal with LA Knight? We're about to talk about it. What's up, you guys? I'm the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling. And today we're talking about LA Knight. Yeah, and if he'll ever be a world champion. And to be honest with you, this is going to be worse than you think it is. So LA Knight has been in the world title scene, or at least hovering around, for a long time. We thought he was going to win Money in the Bank. We thought he was going to win the Royal Rumble. We thought he was going to be in the Crown Jewel tournament, going for the Crown Jewel championship. We had all of these aspirations for LA Knight, and they've all fallen through. The fans are always behind him, and they seem to just not be giving up. When fans in today's day and age get behind somebody and they put their all into hoping that they're going to win the big one so that they can celebrate along with their favorite, and it just doesn't happen. And time after time again, time after time, they're just let down. Then they start to look at another shiny object coming from the stage that they can get behind, that they feel more confident is actually going to win that big one, and they can celebrate with them. But they're still behind LA Knight, and they're still cheering for LA Knight. And right now, he is embroiled in a storyline where he has beaten Seth Rollins, and he knows that he can beat Seth Rollins again without some trickery of a fake knee injury or whatever that's going on. But standing in his way is one of the most fan favorite guys in professional wrestling today, CM Punk, and Jey Uso, who seems to be dead set on carrying on the legacy for his bloodline that Roman Reigns paved. And Roman Reigns seems to be cultivating him for the throne, for the Ulafala. So there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of intrigue going on. Fans are stuck. Like, where do they go? I mean, there's been a lot of, this past Monday on Raw, the fans really didn't know how to react to CM Punk and LA Knight getting into it, or even to LA Knight and Jey Uso getting into it, or Jey Uso and CM Punk getting into it. The fans, they seem to be torn, right? I think the LA Knight World Championship run as a fan favorite will not happen. And I'm sorry, LA Knight fans that are listening to this, watching this video. I just don't see it happening. And I'm sorry to break it to you like this, but tis be the facts, guys. I just don't see an LA Knight fan favorite run as the world champion. I think he might get an opportunity, but I don't think he's going to be standing tall in the middle of the ring, holding up the WWE Championship, Undisputed or World, with the crowd cheering him. Now, they might be cheering him, and he might win, but he'll do it as the most hated. I think that the LA Knight fan favorite run is going to run its course. I personally feel like we are on the precipice of seeing the return of Eli Drake. Yeah, the dummy button. Dummy, yeah. Yeah, I think we're getting to the point right now where I don't think he's going to come out. Let me preface this by saying I don't think he's going to come out as Eli Drake, but I think what you're going to see is the attitude change in LA Knight that brings back that character, that charismatic douchebag Eli Drake. But I think it's going to be in the form of LA Knight. I think we're going to see the return of that shoes of a champion Eli Drake in the form of LA Knight. And I think we're getting hints, we're getting droplets of that on Raw every week. We're seeing the way he interacts with CM Punk, we're seeing the way he interacts with Jey Uso, and it's just becoming more apparent to me that the chase to be the world champion for LA Knight is going to consume him to the point where he feels like he needs to do whatever it takes to win the world or undisputed championship, and that is going to lead him to take nefarious routes. And I think it's inevitable at this point. I think there's only one opportunity. LA Knight is no spring chicken. There's going to be one opportunity for LA Knight to have a championship run, a really good championship run, and it's not going to be as one of the most popular guys on the WWE roster. He's going to get to the point where he's the most hated. The weird thing about that is is I think there's going to be a contingency of fans that are still going to cheer for LA Knight. And I think it's going to be up to him, being a great mic guy, to cut a promo to get those fans to dislike him. And you've already set it up. The WWE has already set it up. They have a situation right now where LA Knight is in this program with Jey Uso and CM Punk. Those guys will get cheered no matter what. No matter what. So if LA Knight turns on them, then just by the sheer volume or the enormity of this type of a move, of really going hard and beating the blood out of CM Punk and Jey Uso, he will get jeers. He will get boos. And I think it's time. And I know he's a top merchandise seller. The crowd cheers for him everywhere he goes. But even if you look, and even if you watch his podcast when he's a guest on podcasts, he's a douchebag. And I mean this with all due respect. I love LA Knight. I love Sean Ricker. I'm a big fan of the human being behind the character and the character. I've been following Eli Drake for a long time, and I was always a big fan of Eli Drake. That's why I'm a proponent of him becoming the most hated in WWE, because I believe personally, and this is just my perspective, that it suits him so much better when he is in that role. And I think that is what's going to propel him to get a championship run. And he's got a litter of guys that there's history with that he can run programs with. You've got Damian Priest. You've got CM Punk. You've got Jey Uso. You've got Cody Rhodes. There's just so many that he can have these programs with, and there's some backstory there that I think it's almost inevitable. Even Roman Reigns, for crying out loud. There's a program there ready to go with Roman Reigns. So I think that, and I'm not necessarily saying that LA Knight, I almost called him Eli Drake, is going to join up with the Vision. I don't think he needs to. I think that Eli Drake, LA Knight, can do this and turn heel or most hated, and he can work these programs with all these guys and maybe team with some members of the Vision. But the point I'm saying is that with LA Knight, the time for him to win the world champion as a fan favorite has run out, and now it's time for him to switch up the character, and I believe that switch up will put him in position to be a world champion. And if you look at the array of most hateds that are in the WWE, there's not a whole lot. There's Gunther, who's been sidelined with an injury. Kevin Owens, who just had surgery on his neck, and we're not even sure he will even come back to compete, which I believe he will, but that's still up in the air. It's not guaranteed, guys. And Seth Rollins. And then you've got Drew McIntyre. And Brock Lesnar shows up whenever he wants. So if you add LA Knight over there, there's so many programs that you can put him in. If you put him in the category of most hated, now you have more opportunity for LA Knight to shine, to cut promos on these guys and really go in and be that cocky, charismatic, shoes of a champion type of a guy that I grew up enjoying. So that's my opinion, but I think that it's time. I think that it is time. Before you turn Cody Rhodes into most hated or Randy Orton into most hated, I think it's time for LA Knight. Nah. That's what I think. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's a bad idea to turn LA Knight into the most hated in professional wrestling? Do you think he'll have a shot as a fan favorite, as one of the most popular guys in the WWE, to have an undisputed championship run when you've got guys like CM Punk that need to get their revenge, Jey Uso that's trying to become the next tribal chief, when you got guys like Cody Rhodes that's on the top of the card, one of the most popular guys in professional wrestling today, one of the staples of this new era, the quarterback, if you will? Do you think that with all of those guys that I just mentioned, that LA Knight can step over the rung and climb to the top of that mountain and have that run as a popular guy? You guys let me know in the comments. That's my thoughts. I want to hear what you thought, and I also want to hear what you think of what I think. Yeah, that made sense. So go ahead and let me know in the comment section if you guys like these videos and other videos. Don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you can find out when I'm dropping out of the portal of pro wrestling to drop you with some hotness. This has been the Wrestling Old Head. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned for more.